Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin. This is my co-host, Teddy, T-E-D-D-Y. You guys keep getting it wrong still. However, let's jump into today's video, which is going to be a monitor review of this monitor right here. It's the Aoc Agon AG271QX, which is a 27-inch 2560 by 1440 FreeSync gaming monitor. So let's jump right in then with the key specs and features then. So as I just said, this is a 27-inch monitor with a 16 by 9 aspect ratio using a TN panel with a 1 ms response time, so very quick. Resolution wise, it is 1440p with a 144 Hz refresh rate, so very high refresh rate. Contrast ratio is 1000 to 1. Now it's featuring Aoc's flicker-free technology, which basically is a bit better for your eyes and allows for more comfortable viewing, especially if you're using the monitor for long periods of time. Now it features FreeSync, which is also really good. It basically will sync the GPU to the monitor, so you don't get things like tearing and other bad stuff like that, so that's really good. And it's coming with a 3-year warranty. So let's jump in then and talk about the design. And I think the first thing you'll notice is it's very, very standard looking. It's got the black bezels and the V-shaped base that we've seen plenty of times before. Although I will say the base is silver, so that does make it a little bit different. There's some red on the back to spice it up, I suppose, but it's no one's really going to see it. Unless I suppose you're using this in an office or something like that, a big open plan office space, but for the most part you're not going to see it, so yeah, but it's still there. I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad, I'm just saying this is a very, very standard looking gaming monitor. But some people like that, some people want something a bit more minimalistic, and for those people it'll be perfect. Now, as far as adjustments go, it's very good. Aoc in the past have had a lot of monitors with very, very limited adjustment, but this one breaks that sort of rule, and it's very, very good. So you have a pivot up to portrait mode if you really want to do that. It has 20 degrees of swivel. It has from minus 3.5 to plus 21.5 degrees of tilt, so that's really good. And it's coming with 130 millimeters of height adjustment up and down. So that's all the adjustment you really need. It should be good for everyone to get it set up exactly the way they want it. Now, as far as I/O goes, it's coming with DisplayPort, which is going to be the main one you're going to want to use with this monitor. 2 HDMI ports, DVI-D, and VGA, which if you buy this monitor and you're using it with the VGA, wow, that's all I'm going to say to that. Now it's also coming with a bunch of USB ports, which is quite cool. Some on the bottom, some on the side, and a whole bunch of audio jacks as well. So that's a nice addition there. You're going to have plenty. It's probably the most I've ever seen on a monitor, I think. So that's quite good also. Now let's move over to image quality. So what was it actually like to use, to look at, and what's it like for gaming? So 1440p is quite nice. It's a good jump up from 1080p, making everything look a bit more crisp there. It's also not as harsh on the GPU as I suppose jumping from 1080p to 4K, so that's another thing to take into consideration. 144 Hz makes everything look really smooth, really nice. You do notice in games it's just way smoother. However, again, it's going to require some GPU power because you've obviously got to get the frame rates up there to really appreciate it, so that is another consideration you need to make with this monitor. The response rate was absolutely perfect. There was no ghosting at all. I never saw any ghosting on this monitor, so you're definitely not going to have to worry about that. FreeSync works perfectly. I had no complaints. Everything looked nice. No tearing. No worries. FreeSync is very, very good. So if you've got an AMD GPU, you're really going to want to take advantage of that with this gaming monitor. The TN panel has all the standard TN vices. So the viewing angles weren't that good, and also the color accuracy was only decent, I would say. So yeah, I mean, you can do a little bit of adjustment, but for the most part I thought actually out of the box it was pretty damn good, and you probably might only want to make minor adjustments to the monitor, but in terms of the image, but for the most part I think you guys can just basically take this out of the box and plug and play and it will be just fine. So yeah, for gaming it was great, perfect. I had no worries with it. It was superb, and this is an absolutely fantastic gaming monitor. But what about general use when you're not gaming? Now, it's still really good. So 1440p gives you really good screen real estate. Not as good as 4K, but it's still quite a bit better than 1080p. So that's going to be good if you're doing anything in split screen like I do when I'm writing scripts and, you know, researching information. That's really good for me, and you could do it with your typing up a document or something for a college or a university, depending on where you live in the world. So that'll be good too. You could be researching one side and typing up your essay on the other. So that's quite nice. I do like it. The 10 panel means it's going to have limited use for anybody doing anything that's color sensitive, you know, picture editing, stuff like that. You're probably going to give this monitor a miss and go towards something that has a really, really good and accurate IPS panel. So yeah, that's just another consideration. It does come with their little quick switch keypad, which allows basically easy monitor control. So that's a nice thing to throw in. And on the same note, it does come with pretty much every cable you're ever going to want to use with this monitor in the box. So that was a nice addition also. Which leads us now to the conclusion. And what do I make of the Aoc Agon AG271QX? So for a price of 799 New Zealand dollars over at Playtech right now, that is a really low price for what you're getting with this monitor. Most monitors like this will be, you know, $300, $400, $500 more than this, New Zealand dollars more than this. So yeah, that's a cheap price for a gaming monitor with the sort of features that this one has. So in terms of value for money, it's probably the best value for money gaming monitor that I have ever tested on this channel the whole time I've been doing it for like 2+ years now. It is that good in terms of value for money. So yeah, I really, really love it. It's fantastic for gaming. It's just superb. But for general use, it's also quite good. However, be aware of the limitations of the TN panel. If you're doing anything that requires a lot of color accuracy in terms of productivity, or you're just a user that really, you know, likes color accuracy, then yeah, that is a consideration you are going to have to make. But for everything else, it is absolutely superb, and I have absolutely no issues at all recommending this to all of you guys out there. So yeah, definitely take a look at this monitor. If you're a Kiwi, I'll leave the link down in the description below to take you over to Playtech so you can go and buy this monitor, because I would definitely recommend it. Now, if you are running an AMD graphics card, then of course, you know, just straight buy it. You know, this is going to be great, and you can enable FreeSync. However, if you're running a NVIDIA graphics card, I would still recommend it because of that high refresh rate. However, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the FreeSync. But for the price, you're probably going to be paying another $400 or so for the equivalent with G-Sync from another company. So I would probably, it depends, it's just hard to say. You yourself are going to have to make that decision if it's worth spending that extra money just for the G-Sync, or just not using it and just taking advantage of the high refresh rates and 1440p that this monitor has. So that's a decision up to you guys. It is a hard decision, so I'll leave it up to you. But I would say for anybody running an AMD graphics card, then yeah, without a doubt, just go and get this monitor. I highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.